All right, good afternoon, everyone. See, that's what I like. I like a little call and response, right? Welcome today to the Dr. Marion A. Bolden Student Center here in the great city of Newark. My name is Monique Baptiste. I am the head of Jobs and Skills with Global Philanthropy and Corporate Responsibility at Jpmorgan Chase. And on behalf of our team, it is with sincere thanks and acknowledgement for everyone who has played a part in bringing this event together today. We are here today to be part of what we feel is a significant announcement of our national commitment to summer youth employment programs around the country. A commitment that extends to our partners, to the communities that we serve, and most importantly, to the young people that we really hold dear. During our time today, you'll get to hear about our commitment to connect young people to skills and opportunities to expand their futures around the country, but specifically here in my hometown, Newark, New Jersey. So Newark's program, which is run by the Newark Youth One Stop and Career Center and the City of Newark, is a national model program that impacts a student through the Summer Youth Employment Program and really shows us what we can do when we are creating career pathways for young people to expand their futures. So we are so excited to have you all here with us today. Now I'd like to welcome the head of Jpmorgan Chase, the global head of Jpmorgan Chase Corporate Responsibility, Demetrius Montranes.
I feel like, like a superhero, you take off your, and then reveal who you actually are. Thank you, Monique. And it's really awesome to be here today. Thank you for coming out. As Monique said, my name is Demetrius Morantis, and I run the corporate responsibility team at Jpmorgan Chase. I am so excited to be here on behalf of the over 11,000 Jpmorgan Chase employees across New Jersey, and especially for this extremely exciting reason to kick off today's announcement. We are relaunching, as Monique said, our Summer Youth Employment Program across 24 sites with a $20 million commitment over the next 5 years, and it's something we're really proud of. This will help youth who are economically disadvantaged get the experience they need to kick off their career pathways and ultimately smooth their way for economic mobility. Let's take a step back. At the highest level, Jpmorgan Chase believes that an inclusive economy in which more people have equitable access to opportunity is a stronger economy. And of course, there's no silver bullet to get us there, but summer youth employment opportunities are a critical part of the solution. For some, it's about gaining valuable experience in a field of interest. For others, it's about tapping into a network of professionals that serve as mentors for years to come. And for others, it can spark a light within, which lights a passion for the future. And most importantly, these jobs just lead to other jobs. We know there's still a need for developing these opportunities, especially in a post-COVID environment, which has exacerbated so many long-standing disparities, impeding access to career pathways. That means that young people from economically distressed communities have experienced the most acute setbacks. And we know as a society that we can do better and that we must do better. And that starts from a business community perspective with collaborating with governments and community leaders to play a critical role together in developing more resilient communities. Jpmorgan Chase is using our resources to help bridge the gap in equitable access to job opportunities, including summer jobs. And we're doing this by building on some lessons that we learned from both our first investment in summer youth employment, which we launched back in 2013, and then our expansion in 2017 with a renewed $17 million 5-year commitment. These past programs have helped thousands of young adults in more than 20 US cities benefit from learning and working experiences. And that brings us today, because we all know that there's a lot more work we can do. Our new commitment includes preparing young people for the careers of the future by doing several things. One, investing in community partners. Second, tapping into mentor and trainee programs. And the third, supporting policy solutions. With our partner, we are endeavoring to prepare young people for the future of work too, including by integrating our work into the local public workforce and education systems, by collaborating with local employers, and by continuing to test virtual models. We're also aligning our work with existing year-round services to better support young people beyond the summer months, as Superintendent Leon and I were discussing earlier. We're thrilled to be kicking off this new commitment here in Newark. The Newark program, under the leadership of Marsha Armstrong, has built an incredible reputation. The program has gained national attention for its focus on narrowing the skills gap and seamlessly integrating mentoring, banking and financial literacy, job readiness training, and defined career pathways into its offerings. Earlier, I mentioned the importance of collaboration between the business community, employers, government leaders, and how instrumental that is to the success of these programs. And Newark is a fantastic example of that approach in action, in large part thanks to Mayor Baraka. When he took office, he made focus on youth employment a personal endeavor, and often notes the incredible impact that summer youth employment programs had on his own life. This focus helped us shape the program into what it is today. Mayor Baraka, we thank you for your steadfast leadership and support here in Newark. It's truly making a difference. I'd just like to end. I'd like to end just with a few notes of gratitude. First, to the Jpmorgan Chase team, thank you for your smart, caring work on this program. It's really tremendous. And there are a bunch of you in this room who, there are too many of you in this room to name, but your work has been really, really, really outstanding. I'm also thrilled to thank our partners in this room. We're very excited to work and learn from you. Kevin Callahan and Assistant Superintendent Ortiz, we couldn't do this without you. And I'm thrilled to extend a deep, deep, deep thanks to Newark Mayor Baraka and Superintendent Roger Leon, who are joining us here today. And finally, to the youth in this room, this is for you. We're thrilled you are here and can't wait to see what you will do and what you will become. And we hope you'll be having fun doing it too. So thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Demetrius, and thank you for your leadership. And this really speaks to how important this means to the firm. And so thank you so much for coming to the city of Newark and being a part of this event. So I'd like to welcome up Mayor Baraka to say some words.
Thank you, Monique. I appreciate it. Thank you. So first, just while we're here, I want to thank Jpmorgan Chase just off the top. Demetrius Marantis, thank you. The whole team that is here with us today. Janique Drusis, hope I said that correctly. All of the folks that are with us. Obviously, Monique Baptiste, homegrown folks here with us as well. Want to thank you for believing in Newark and the programs that we do and partnering with us and helping us continue to stand up the work that we're doing here in our city. None of this obviously would be possible without two incredible people, Kevin Callahan, who works tirelessly to find the money and foundation for us to stand this on, and the direction and management and organization, obviously, of Marsha Armstrong, who does an incredible, incredible job every single day here in the city of Newark. So she deserves a round of applause. When I came here, the program was not as nearly as effective as it is now. We didn't have as many children involved in it as we do now. And we certainly did not have as many partners helping us to do this as we do now. And I'm glad that as I've been saying lately, that her vision is big enough and heavy enough for her to understand that she needs people to help her carry it, and has identified the right people to help her carry this thing along, because it's pretty big and pretty heavy. So obviously, thank you for that. As was stated, I was a summer youth employment kid. It was called Speedy. When I was there, we cleaned up a lot of lots then. We don't do that now. And I graduated to become a program rep, meaning I went to people's sites and made sure they were at work and broke down the stuff and came back to, that's when I was in college. I was able to come home and do that. Then you thought you was just doing anything, but in hindsight, you understand how important it was to your family, to yourself, to get the work experience, to have extra dollars in your pocket that your parents probably used to do things to help you that you now could do for yourself. They didn't have to buy you that extra pair of sneakers, didn't have to buy you those school clothes, didn't have to always give you money for this and that. You had it on your own, and that gave the family the opportunity to use some of that income in other areas that they needed it, whether it was food, or travel or anything else, even maybe a vacation for themselves. But, so this is incredibly important, particularly since unemployment in Newark has always been an intractable issue that we've been dealing with. And I think we've stepped up to the plate and been battling it as well as most people could in the city. And we're going to continue to do that. And I thank Jpmorgan Chase for deciding to be a partner of ours in this fight. Because it is definitely a heavy fight, and we're glad to have you as partners. I want to thank our superintendent, my friend, also Roger Leon, for the work that he does here in the city around our young people. I think, without his passion and commitment to young people in this city, no matter what school that they're in, a lot of the things that we envision could not be brought together. And so we are glad to have the superintendent a part of this as well. All of the young people, the two that are here with us today, I see you got those virtual things with you. I was given one of those to test so I could be prepared. Believe me, I'm not prepared. So when you get on it, I could be on it too, and I'm sure you're going to be able to do it better and faster than I am. I'm having a kind of difficult time. I get a little dizzy, so I have to take intervals when I do it. Rest here, rest there. I'm a little old, so it bothers me. But it is an incredible, incredible tool, and to be able to use, I just want to shout out the folks, at Workforce for doing this, because it's an incredible tool to get you to do employment training and jobs through that device virtually is ingenious. And I think it probably will start off because of the pandemic. But I think that is an incredible place to take us, particularly in the future of how young people are going to be employed. So I want to thank everybody for coming out. We appreciate your support here in the city of Newark. We're doing everything we can every single day to build one brick at a time, lay one brick at a time to build the kind of structure and infrastructure that we need to make sure our kids have something to stand on so they can reach for things that they could not reach for without our assistance. So Summer Youth Employment does that continuously, and I'm glad that we do everything that we can in our power to make that happen. So God bless you all, and thank you for being part of this.
I just want to take a minute to also just say the leadership in this room is what makes all of this possible. The humility and the proximity of the leadership in this room is what makes all this possible. To have Mayor Baraka, who deeply understands what young people need in this city, to have Demetrius Marantis, who deeply understands when one of his subordinates butchers his last name in the introduction. It just shows that there is just a humility and a sense of service in this room. And that leadership continues with Superintendent Roger Leon, who has joined us today, born and raised here in Newark as well. He not only believes in the power of community, but also his life has been committed to this work. He has served as, he's been a student, he has been a teacher, a high school debate team head coach, principal, assistant superintendent, and now the superintendent of the city of Newark, of the city Newark Public Schools. So please come up, say some words.
Good afternoon. Joining me this afternoon is Board Vice President Norton and Board Member Council. And I know they join me in being extremely excited to be participating in this incredible announcement, and in particular, on this historic day here in the great city of Newark. To Jpmorgan Chase President Morantis, thank you for your leadership, your stewardship, and the prioritization of the role you believe youth play in the workforce. This isn't about money in their pockets and a nice to have, albeit it will be money in their pockets and a nice to have. To the mayor, who clearly knows firsthand the significant role our young people do play and must play in not only their own development, but in the preservation of an ever-evolving humanity we know as life. The mayor and I know that the world will become better because of the children in urban school districts all across the country, beginning here in the city of Newark. And Jpmorgan Chase is critically important in that work. President Morantis, had the pleasure of meeting with your staff in preparation for today's announcement with Dr. Ortiz, Assistant Superintendent of the high schools, and her team. I wanted to take this opportunity to recognize our team in the district, your team at Jpmorgan Chase, and obviously the incredible work that Ms. Armstrong and her team have done here already in the city of Newark, with a big round of applause from everyone here today. In Newark today, we have over 55,000 students who will at some point in time be the beneficiaries of this initiative and initiatives like it in the future that are designed with one intended goal: a profound impact in the lives of our students and their community. I said that today was historic, and it sure is, because this evening we will be hosting our freshman orientation night across every single high school in our city. This is the first time in over 3 decades that we will have an enrollment of 3,400 freshmen entering our high schools next school year. I need my 8th graders to ready themselves now for high school next year, and that all too important work begins tonight. We will be sharing with 3,400 families this evening this initiative by Jpmorgan Chase and the great city of Newark. So your ears and our phones, Mayor, will be ringing tonight. The high school redesign strategy here in Newark is a 3-pronged approach which is transforming education in Newark. The generosity of Jpmorgan Chase will help enhance and realize the apprenticeship to internship opportunities that students will be engaged in beginning this summer. These dollars will enable our students to be engaged in jobs today that will influence the careers they will choose to be in tomorrow. In Newark, these efforts will not be solely about work during the summer, but actually career pathways for our students and their brighter future. And this district commits its funds to that goal as well. On behalf of all of our students, their families, and my staff, we thank you.
All right, so now we will turn our conversation over to Janique Druces, Senior Northeast Program Officer for Jpmorgan Chase, who will lead us in our panel discussion.
Thank you, Monique. Good afternoon, everyone. It's really great, thank you. It's really great to be here with all of you today, and I am very excited to be sitting here in the city of Newark. So as Monique mentioned, my name is Janique Druces, and I lead our philanthropic efforts in the Northeast for Jpmorgan Chase. And I'm also glad to have our leader, Demetrius Morantis, here with us. And so with that, I want to tell you a little bit about what our discussion is going to be here today. So we have stakeholders with us that represent different elements in the SYEP process. So first we have Marsha Armstrong, who everyone should know at this point, right? We have Amber Burgess, who represents the student voice as a part of SYEP, and we have Kim Cook, who represents an employer partner. All of these individuals play a very key role in making SYEP successful. And so the reason why I'm so excited to be here today in the city of Newark is because I remember when I first met Marsha. And I was actually a financial health funder at the time. And you know, for me, it was a little weird. I was like, why am I funding SYEP? And I didn't even know I was funding SYEP. We were funding the financial health of students, young people in the city of Newark. And when I found out it was SYEP, I was just like, huh. And the first discussion that we had wasn't a good one. It was about why wasn't it working? But when we came back the next year, oh my gosh. It rivaled the best programs in the country. Our partner didn't understand what was going on, and we said, okay, we have to go to Newark, and we have to sit down with Marsha Armstrong. And let me tell you, right then and there, I became a fan. I was like, it is working because she has made it work. And there are lessons learned here that people around the country need to hear from, because not only are the students in Newark getting a job, they're getting financial health training. It is spilling over into their families. And so I'm super excited to be here with you to elevate this amazing work that you've been doing. Thank you. And I'll also tell you that I am glad to announce that Jpmorgan Chase is going to triple their investment in summer youth employment, in the summer youth employment program. So Marsha, everyone's now on the edge of their seats. And they want to know what makes up the Newark Summer Youth Employment Program. So can you give us an overview of the program and its different elements?
Absolutely. So the Summer Youth Employment Program in Newark is unique in the fact that everything about this program is about coaching and mentorship. While we do have the components of career exposure, work skills, financial health and literacy training, and again, embedded in career exploration, it's really important that we look at the coaching and mentorship that our young people need, as well as the year-round tiered approach that we have. We don't just service young people in the summer, we look at the connection that it makes to their year-round experience within the school year.
So that's awesome, but that's only scratching the surface, right? So you embedded a number of different innovative approaches in the design of the SYEP program. And I mentioned financial health a little earlier. Can you tell us why you put that into the program and what that has meant for the students of Newark and how it's impacted their families?
So when I first came into this role, it was really important to me that young people didn't just see SYEP as a job and or a paycheck. Understanding how that paycheck connected to their families, their daily living, the way that they could come out of this idea of just poverty. And so every part of the process for us was about financial health and literacy, like I said. So when they walk in the door, from the very first time that they fill out an application, everything is about your financial health. Do you have an account? Are you interested in direct deposit? All these important pieces that then move them to the next level. So they're thinking. And then when they meet with our counselors, again, the conversation comes up about financial health. Are you interested in opening a banking account? If you are, non-custodial is really important, because while the money belongs to you, we want you to keep that money within you and your family, but you control it. And so along the summer program, then we also have youth mentors that are teaching them about money. And these are our young people in the city of Newark that are going to colleges in state or out of state. They're coming back and having these conversations with the young people. And so all of those little pieces all along the way then gets to the end of the summer where they're telling us how we should be managing our money and really understanding and taking it home to their parents. So there's that secret sauce that happens on the front end that then transitioned into this program.
And so now you know why we are all fans of Marsha Armstrong. So that leads us to the star of the show, Amber. So I want you guys to know that Amber joined us at the last minute, and we're very glad that she was able to join us. So Amber is a former student in the SYEP program. And so Amber, can you tell us how long you've been involved with the program how you're involved with the program now, and how you got involved.
So I have been a part of the program since 2016, my freshman year in high school. Found out about the program through my mom. She kept bugging me to do an application, so I finally did it. And the experience was amazing. So I always kept in contact with Marcia. She's always been like a clutch for me. Whenever I needed something, I would go to her. Any youth services, she would always be right there. She has an open door policy, which I've always admired. So my role now, I'm a program monitor. So during the summer, I will be connecting with young people and just mentoring them.
That's awesome, Amber. So we've evolved from the clip notepad and the checklist to now mentoring other students in the program. I love that. Can you share with us what your favorite memory is about SYEP?
So the thing that sticks out to me the most was a conversation I had with the judge, because my first year I was able to go to the courthouse and I met this really amazing judge. His name is Judge Nakama. I will always remember him because the knowledge that he instilled in me, I still have today. And it's a staple in a lot of the things that I do. And I always remember the conversation that we had my last day. And he also has an open door policy. He was just very, I don't know how to say it. He just instilled so much knowledge in me that I will always be grateful for him, because he could have been rude, he could have just treated me any type of way, but just to have that experience to watch him do what he does every day, and then him come back to me and tell me, do you understand why I did this? What do you want to be when you grow up? Like, just asking those questions and being invested in my process and my growth was everything to me.
That is so awesome to hear, and I think we can all tell what an impact it's had on your life. And that really highlights the role of employers in the Summer Youth Employment Program. So with that, I want to bring Kim into this conversation. So Kim is with Newark Beth Israel Medical Center, and they have been a long-term supporter and funder of the Summer Youth Employment Program. And so Kim, can you just share with us, like, why do you fund this program?
Well, that's easy, because these are our kids. Because Beth Israel has been in the same spot in the South Ward for over 100 years. The kids were probably born at the Beth. We've been taking care of their families for decades. So these are our kids. So who doesn't take care of their own? So we want the best for them. And so we want to make sure that through this process, not just, they walk past us going to school. These are literally our kids. So we want to make sure that if there are opportunities that we can make available to them, that we do that. And that we do actually hire the kids. I want to put that in there too. So I think that part of the goal of the program has been to give them work experience, and a hospital is the best place you have so many different careers at a hospital that they can get exposed to a number of things and have that experience hands-on, face-to-face. So obviously we want to make sure that if there's an opportunity that is available, that is available to our kids.
Thank you for that. So as a longtime supporter of the Summer Youth Employment Program here in Newark, how have you seen it evolve over the years? And how would you say the impact on the youth has changed?
Well, Marsha and I were laughing about this earlier. Because all the old heads here, if I say Minnie Allen, you'll know how long I've been working with the program. So over the year, in the beginning, I think the philosophy has changed. Back in the day, it was get as many kids jobs as you could to make sure that they had something constructive to do during the summer and some money in their pocket, and that was pretty much it. The access has changed as well, because back in the day, the kids, you never knew when the applications were coming out. They went to the councilman's office and the guidance counselor's office, and they kind of eventually found out where they could get one. You could also get one at the one-stop office. So access has improved dramatically by the online registration. It gives everybody equal access. They notify everybody when the applications are out. That's been a big difference. I think the career focus has been a dramatic difference. They really do match the kids with where their career interests are, and they ask for job descriptions from the employer so that you know what kind of work this kid is going to be doing at your site. And I think the financial management piece was tremendous, because back in the day there were paper checks, and not everybody's family even had a bank account. So if your parents don't have a bank account, you're not going to know how to open a bank account. And then they went to debit cards, but the kids were taking all their money out of and not taking into account for the fees. So then at the end of the summer, they owed the banks money and couldn't get an account there next year. So when they switched to a company that had the debit cards and really had people talk to them about financial management and how you use your money and explain all these things, that really changed dramatically. So it's grown by leaps and bounds. And that really is Marsha. I mean, that's Marsha. She has expectations of the employer. So I think in the past, you just were happy to get somebody to take them. But now they want you to take them, but they want to make sure you're doing something constructive with them. So it's not just to say we're going to have a lot of kids out here getting checks. It's more like we're going to have kids in employers that embrace the opportunity, that are looking out for the best interests of the kids, that have put some thought into what they're going to do when they get there, and they have a plan in place. So I think that's made a big, big difference.
You know, it's important, it's apparent that what really makes this special is not only what's happening on behalf of the city and the one-stop team, but also having employer partners that are really invested in the children of Newark. And so thank you for doing that. Thank you for investing in your children. And you know, you also mentioned financial health, and I can't not reiterate how important that is, because I don't know if the rest of you are like me. When I got my first paycheck, I had no idea who FICA was. I was like, where's the rest of my money, right? And so this is a pivotal point in a child's life, and for you to incorporate that into this program just really makes them well-rounded for their future. And so with that, Amber, I want to go back to you. How has SYEP prepared you for your future career and your adult life?
SYEP has prepared me tremendously, because I don't think I will be where I am financially without it, because I learned about a checkings account, a savings account through it. I learned how to manage my money in ways that my friends that weren't a part of the program don't. And I also actually learned what I wanted to do, because in high school, I wanted to be a lawyer, and that's not the career path that I'm on now, but I was so grateful to even have that experience to know, to be able to say to myself, that's not really what you want to do, so don't major in it, because a lot of kids don't get that opportunity. But to have it and to be like, I have a choice and I know what it's like, it was really amazing.
That's awesome. So what were the top 3 lessons learned that you received from your involvement in the SYEP program?
I think the first one would be, it's okay to ask for help. They're there for a reason. And if the kids are anything like me, I'm very shy. So I wasn't that open to asking for help, but they made it to where they were so welcoming. Everyone had a smile on their face. Like, you couldn't not ask for help. So that's what I really enjoyed. The second lesson would be first impressions are everything. Because I remember someone walking up to me and saying, I know who you are. Like, I'm 14, 15 at the time. I'm like, you know who I am? Do you know who I am because my mom? Like, but they said, no, I know you because they talked about you. They talked about your work ethic, and they talked about how good of a listener, how good of a learner you were. I said, wow. I was able to make that impression with my first day. So
Wow.
it was like first impressions, even just walking in there saying you're ready to learn, you're ready to work, they will remember you years later. Number 3, I would say, I don't know, I think those are my 2 that I took throughout the program, the 2 most important.
Those are 2 great ones. So, Marcia, do you hear similar things from the other youth that participate in SYEP?
I do, and it makes me laugh because I think about, on our end, when we're thinking about the career readiness piece, and these are the things that we want young people to talk about while they're talking about getting to work, like those things, like that first impression, and reminding them that it is important to show up interview ready, even if you're just showing up to the one stop, and putting your belt on, and like cleaning your face up real quick because you're walking into one stop, stopping at the bathroom. And so, yeah, we hear this a lot, but it's like really exciting to see that it's taking you through your college journey as well. Like, it doesn't stop that last day of work.
You said we're really focused on the career readiness piece. This is career readiness. Knowing how to ensure that you make the right first impression, knowing that it's okay to ask for help. You can have the best skills in the world, but if you don't know how to do those 2 things, you're not going to get very far. So kudos to you, Amber, for pulling that out. Kudos to this SYEP program for teaching that to the youth. I also want to give a shout out to Amber's mom, who's in the audience. Thank you for supporting your daughter. And so before we open it up for Q&A, Kim, what do you have to share with employers who are considering participating in SYEP? Why should they do it?
Well, selfishly, it's an opportunity to grow your own workforce. You're going to raise them in the culture of your company. You get to preview them before you hire them. How often do you ever get to do that? If somebody fills in an application, sends it in, you don't get to watch them work before you hire them. So you have an opportunity to see who fits your profile, who doesn't. But the surprising thing is that it's really good for employee morale. And because the staff really feels good about having the opportunity to take a young person under their wing and see them grow, even though it's only 6 weeks, you see the change in that 6-week period. And the staff feels good about that. So the funny thing is, like, almost every year, there's at least one kid that cries on the last day because they don't want to go. Then we used to, because I was running the program, we used to have a party on the last day. I had to stop having my party on the last day because the departments wanted to have their party for the kids on the last day. So I had to do mine on Thursday so everybody else could have their party for the kids on the last day. They were giving them gifts on the last day. Some of the kids come back to show them their report cards because they had that kind of a relationship with the kids. So that's a hidden benefit to having them here, the employee morale. So now, when around this time of year, people say, "Are the kids coming back? When the kids coming? Am I getting a kid?" And if you ask for a kid and you don't get one, then that's a problem. Because you said, I thought I asked for a kid. How come I didn't get one? So they really do enjoy feeling like they're contributing to a young person's development. They feel good about sharing what they do for a living, and seeing somebody who's interested in it and maybe might follow in their, in their footsteps. So there's a lot of benefits to having the kids come. I'm sorry, I call them kids. They call them participants. Some people call them students. I'm a mom, so I call them kids. But I think it's worthwhile. I think you definitely benefit as an employer from having the summer youth program students come.
Awesome, thank you, Kim. So all employers who are not involved in summer youth employment programs?
Come on down.
All right, okay, Marcia, just call Marcia. So Amber, similar question to you. What message would you share with young people who are in the program now? And we have 2 in the audience. Can you raise your hands?
3.
Oh, we have 3 in the audience. So what would you share with them? Oh yeah, let's give them a round of applause. Absolutely. So what message would you share with them? What advice would you give them? And then secondly, what would you tell young people who are not yet involved in the program?
Okay, so talking directly to you guys, be a sponge, please. They will throw knowledge at you. They will throw information at you. Soak it up. Even if you're not in what you wanted to be in the first place, everything that you do leads up to who you are now. Everything that I did when I was in high school is why I am who I am today, even if I didn't want to be there in the first place. Because I learned that I didn't like that. You have to learn and experience to know what you do and do not like. Mm-hmm. So please be a sponge. Even if it's not where you want to be, just do it. And to the kids that are thinking about joining this program, do it. It will be life-changing. Just come with an open mind and ready to learn.
Mom, you have a star on your hands. And finally, Marcia, last but not least, as the wizard behind the curtain, pulling all of the strings to make this work and to make it grow and to really impact the lives of youth and the employers that are engaging them. Is there anything else that you would share? You have any parting thoughts?
For employers, I'd say challenge them. Do not expect that because they're young, they're walking in, they don't understand, they don't know. And if they don't understand, challenge them. Even when they walk into my office, I hear them having conversations they shouldn't be having. I come right out of my office and have the conversations that are hard, that sometimes teachers aren't having, that sometimes parents aren't having, that sometimes employers are scared to have. Have them, do them. They will, like babies, they're born to learn and grow. And so that's what they're going to continue to do. To our young people, like Amber said, soak it up and challenge us. Do not allow any adult in any space to just put you in a corner with your cell phone. If they do, call me, I'm there. And so that's also a message to employers, I'm coming. But why I say that is because I expect young people to have an experience. Somebody was the person that I needed them to be at the right time in my life. And I want you to be the same thing for the young people here. So young people, I am depending on you to hold the adults in this space accountable so we can continue to do this work, right? And we will continue to do it with all that we got to make sure that you win. Because all of the chips are on the table for you, and we don't lose in Newark. We just don't, okay? So remember that. And call me if you need me. I'm coming.
Well, I'm going to give you guys a chance to get your questions ready so that you can ask them of our distinguished panelists. But I hope after listening to them at this point in time, you see just how important and how special this program here in Newark is. And with that, I wanted to open it up for Q&A. Does anyone have a question for our panelists? Yes.
The employer and the experience that they give to these kids, and to watch Marsha's pride as Amber is speaking, and to just hear the impact that this program has had on Amber. I just think it's amazing, and I'm just glad that you guys are here.
Awesome. We have another question right here.
Hi, I'm Jackie Ross, and right now I work for Newark Youth Career Pathways, which is a program of Newark Alliance, but I've been fundraising in Newark for 20 years, and for more than 10 of those years, I was the Director of Advancement for the Cristo Rey Newark High School, and unfortunately it closed a couple of years ago, and I'm hoping that will change, because one of the things about the Cristo Rey schools, and first of all, thank you, all of you, for being what I profoundly, and I'm dedicating my life to, what I think is a fundamental solution to economic disparity in this country, and leadership cultivation, which you know we so desperately need. So my question is, when I was working for Cristo Rey, our students were working 1 day a week in a corporate setting for their entire academic year. And by the time they graduated from high school, they had 1,400 hours of professional experience. And the reason I'm mentioning that is we noticed that it took a long time for them to really get in their hearts that they could identify with having a wonderful economic future. It took a long time. And that saturation, I think, was very important. So I'm wondering how that, if you think about that, I'm sure you do think about the saturation and giving them more and more experiences. So how does your, as you grow, can you talk a little bit about that, about increasing their experiences?
So there are some high schools that we are doing those type of programs with. So we've identified some within Newark Public Schools. We also work with some of the county schools that we're doing that. I can specifically speak about programming over at Wheatway, at Westside, that we've really just begun to grow that out. We do provide career readiness to young people in any high school. If a counselor calls us, we are there. We're going to provide that career readiness. We are working now to fine-tune their schedules, so those students that are eligible to leave for that 1 day a week can do that. Some of them are paid, some of them are unpaid, depending on their age, because there are some specifications that we have to follow, right? And we want to make sure that we stay in our guidelines. But knowing that that already exists in some schools and has been working before we kind of made it very, very known to everyone. We've kind of been doing it in a unique way, because we knew that we could only fund 10 or 15 people at that time. But now we're in a place where we can fund more, where we can assist more, where we can provide not only career readiness, but financial education to every student in Newark Public Schools. We are going to continue to keep at it. Thank you to Superintendent Leon, who has identified school-to-career counselors in schools, who has also identified a team over in central office. Dr. Ortiz, who we've been working really closely with to make sure that these things are happening. So by next year, we can probably talk about it a bit more, but knowing that it exists in places, we want to get it across all comprehensives, and then also make sure that we're staying partnered with our county schools as well. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Marsha, I just want to kind of follow up on that. It's like, what is your barrier, your next 5 years? What are you foreseeing as, some of your barriers for success? Like, and what do you need from people like ourselves who maybe run nonprofits or companies besides, slots for young people? What are you looking for? What are you looking to achieve and help with?
Our number one barrier is always money, right?
Well,
Singing
yeah.
the funder's praise, right? But we talk about opportunities. Again, a lot of people apply to be host sites. Every single person in Newark wants to be a host site. I am the host site auditor. I'm going to show up. You're going to show me what you're doing with a young person. And so we want wholesome opportunities. We do need a job description. We need to review it together. If it doesn't look good, let's work on it. Let's figure out what we can do. So if employers come to the table with opportunities ready and the mindset to serve young people, this is not just free labor. This is just not a place where you're just having someone sit, but you want to serve them. When they show up late, hold them accountable. When they start to do better, give them some praise. And then if an opportunity becomes ready in your organization, think about them for those opportunities. This is about leadership. right? I'm warming my seat for one of these young people, not for one of us, right? We're up there. We're ready to transition into our next role, but we're warming these seats for these young people. And the only way for them to understand that is for them to see that. See that we trust them with not just the fax machine, but sending a professional email, helping them create a professional email, helping them tweak their resumes. So like all of that is really important. We all play a major part in making this thing work. And so whatever part you can commit to, do that.
We have time for one more question.
Oh, great.
Jpmorgan.
I get to ask the last question. So this is phenomenal. 2 questions. Is there I know. It's sort of, I know. Really, really short. I know. Last question, but I was just wondering if there's a follow-up process or some type of alumni network. That's the first thing. And then the other is this open to like smaller businesses, entrepreneurs, right? So not necessarily a larger corporation. So those are my 2 questions.
Entrepreneurs are welcome. Again, sometimes entrepreneurs work, there are some that work out of their homes, and so we want to work with them to provide spaces, but yes is the answer to that. And yes, there is a network, so there are the Ambers living in those spaces, right? Not only does she come back during the school year, but she's available in the summer as well. And so we don't look at it as just a program monitor. A monitor to me just sounds like someone that's checking boxes. You're not checking boxes. You are forging relationships. When a young person is hungry, feed them. Right? If they're homeless, let's figure out where they can, because we're a resource hub. We just don't do employment. We do resources and training for young people. So we want to make sure that all those things are known and available for those young people.
Awesome. So I may have skipped a bit because I want to give an opportunity to ask a question to our youth who are in the room. So if you guys have a question, no pressure, but if you have a question, the last question can be yours.
This year, I was told that there's going to be a virtual reality program that's going to be coming up. So I wanted to ask, can we know about like employers and like student internships for this program, like when we're done? Because it's going to be like a couple of, I think 2 months for this summer. So like when the 2 months period is over, I want to like continue working as an intern, you know, and improving my skills.
Absolutely. So first of all, how old are you?
I just turned 18.
Oh, perfect, right? So you're our Amber. So all of our students that are between 16 and 24, we do offer them the opportunity to either intern in our office or intern in other organizations across the city. And it does not always have to be in Newark. We want to make sure if those organizations are available in New York and Jersey City, that we are helping you get those opportunities as well. So yes and yes, you are welcome to chat with me after this or send me an email and we can figure out how that works. I think Cody is right behind you. That's our technology person. And so you definitely want to connect with him to figure out how that looks. But any student in Newark public schools, in our county schools, anyone that wants to intern between 16 and 24, talk with me. We can figure out how that works after the summer for you as a full-time opportunity.
So thank you, everyone. This has been amazing. Just in summary, I'll share with you what I've taken away from this. For employers, challenge the students that you are bringing to your offices for summer youth employment programs, and that this is good for both morale and recruiting. For our students, be a sponge and hold the adults that you're working with accountable for their investment in you. And for all of us, know that Marsha's coming, right? And so this is the type of program that we are super excited to support at Jpmorgan Chase. It really embodies everything that Monique mentioned when she talked about our new investment in the SYEP program. And so hopefully other programs will follow suit. You can reach Marsha at any point in time. And really, let's invest in our youth because, as Kim said it, they're all our children. So with that, I would like to bring up Lester Pataki for some closing remarks.
How about that panel? That was amazing. One more round of applause. So, good afternoon. My name is Lester Pataki, and I'm responsible for our commercial banking business here at Jpmorgan Chase in New Jersey. And I am super proud to represent all our employees and senior leaders who work in the state and spend their time serving customers and the communities here in New Jersey. And boy, if today's event makes it quite clear, a summer job is more than a paycheck. Every summer, millions of youth look forward to getting their first job, an important experience that can put them on a path to a meaningful career. And we heard some great stories here today about that. And I'm gonna go off script for a second. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for this. But boy, I had a chance to spend a couple minutes with Amber before we even got in here. And she was unbelievably impressive in the few minutes we got together. And her takeaways: ask for help, first impressions, be a sponge, your life is a series of your cumulative experiences are oh my gosh, they're things that we try and teach people that join us out of college, out of grad school. So, I mean, that is just absolutely, absolutely incredible. And what's so great is, like many people here today, Jpmorgan Chase is committing to using our resources to help bridge that opportunity gap. The summer youth employment opportunities are just one step in preparing young people for the future of work and enabling them to benefit from a growing economy. And so without programs like the one here in the city of Newark that's hosted every summer, way too many deserving students around the country are denied that opportunity. And so we're thankful to partner and be part of this. Jpmorgan, we made our first investment in 2013 into the summer youth employment programs. And since then, we're really proud to have expanded the commitment to over 25 markets and help thousands of young adults benefit from learning and work experiences. As everybody knows, this is work that's not done alone. So we're proud to partner with local governments, employers, community partners to connect young people with the opportunities and experiences that they need for future success. And what we have here in Newark is just a wonderful example of how private sector, public sector can work together to make a real difference, and we're super proud to be part of that. So we want to thank Mayor Baraka, Superintendent Leone for your leadership and all the work that your teams do day in and day out to support these programs. I'd like to just take a second to thank some of my colleagues who came here today: Demetrios, Monique, Laura, Jeannie, Janique, Laura Mutis and Carlene Lully, who actually helped put on this program today. So thank you for all that work. And then just finally, I want to thank the students and the educators here today. For all the educators, thank you for your optimism, your hard work, and all that you're going to do in the future to help make Newark even greater than it is today. My wife is a teacher, so I get to see firsthand the impact that educators have on our youth, and so thank you for all the work that you do. And then just importantly to the students, thank you for all you're doing to take charge of your own futures and definitely to become tomorrow's leaders. So thank you and have a great afternoon.